I've heard the little birdie's been on my ear actually during the break. Actually, Marama Fox has. And I've heard that these three people here, Jono, Penny and Marama, have been to the Philippines on a UN conference, and there's a karaoke master before us, and his name is Jono Naylor.
No, it's Marama Fox.
Is that right, Marama?
Yes, it is. Yes, that's right.
So,
Jono is the master. He sings in a band, and I think he owes it to us to give a little rendition of his greatness.
All right, 20 seconds. Jono Naylor, give a round of applause for Jono. 20 seconds. Here we go.
20 seconds of what?
Your song.
Come on, Jono. Sing a song, buddy. Sing a song.
Africa by Toto, of course.
There you go.
Here we go.
I hear the drums echoing tonight as they go restless, longing for some solitary company. I can't remember the rest of it. I guess it rains down in Africa. Anyway.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Jono.
Thanks. Well done, bro.
Very, very, very good indeed.
No worries.
All right. State houses.
She does Alicia Keys, by the way.
All right, Marama. No. I want to talk about the shocking state of our state houses here. Another week and another Housing New Zealand horror story. Let's start with Penny Henare. What's the problem, as you see it?
Mate, the problem is that the stock hasn't been kept up to date. Our homes aren't safe places for our tamariki. I mean, this is the biggest problem that comes to my 4 offices across Tāmaki Makaurau.
Is it really?
It is. Housing is the biggest issue. And, our kids not only in houses, but are in garages. They're just overcrowded. There's mould, it's damp, it's nasty.
What do they say?
They're coming in saying that they're fed up with bureaucracy, a bureaucracy that's treating them like real just third-class citizens. They're unable to get the help that they need, especially those with kids, and that's a common problem that's coming through our door.
All right, Marama Fox, what do you think? I heard the story of, for example, Te Ao Marama Winces.
In my electric.
Yep, cleanliness, mould up the curtains, windows, ledges. The 7-year-old son puts the hand through the wall. He has had 2 strokes. This is totally unacceptable. And I want to try and for you guys to give us an insight into why this is happening in Aotearoa.
I think it's happening in Aotearoa because the government has turned into the biggest slumlord that we have in this country. They have not taken on the obligation to carry out proper work to keep those houses to a good quality. We asked them to do a report on state housing and to have a look into it. They came back. We know that 95% of those houses did not meet their own standard, and they have refused to implement a warrant of fitness on housing. They've instead gone for the mid-step, the tiny step of minimum standards. It's not good enough.
These are strong words, and what I hear are people being bounced between, Housing New Zealand wins. They're caught up in bureaucracy. That is the biggest thing that I've heard. How do you explain this shocking situation?
Oh, look, so clearly there are certain circumstances, and we just heard about one, that is unacceptable. Nobody's going to say that's unacceptable.
There's thousands of that. It's not just one.
So clearly what we are doing is we're upgrading state houses. So we've done 3,000. We're planning to do more. Remembering, of course, that we inherited a housing stock that had been run down and hadn't been looked after as well.
You can't always just go back.
I didn't say that. I just said remembering that. So what we're doing, we've done up 3,000 houses already. We are undertaking to actually get some minimum standards in place. So
we've been talking about this for years, though.
That's right. Yeah.
This is the thing.
Well, it's happening now.
Is it?
It's happening now. That's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
We've got a plan in place. We're trying to make sure that we upgrade to make sure that our social housing needs are as good as they can be.
It's happening now. We've got a plan in place. Let's go to Damien.
I'm here with Deborah Morris-Travers from UNICEF and the Wellington Child Poverty Action Group. Welcome.
Hi, Damien. How are you?
Good. Did you wish that you had backbenchers in your day as a minister, as an MP?
Yeah, it would have been a lot of fun.
You had a lot of fun anyway, though, didn't you?
We had lots of fun, yeah.
Yeah. How widespread is the problem? I mean, let's just look at state houses. Are state houses, on average, worse than non-state houses in this sense?
Actually, the problem is spread across both state housing and private rentals, and of the children who are living in poverty, the majority of them are actually in private rental properties, where families are paying high costs for inadequate housing that's making their children sick. So the government's data shows that 1 in 8 children in New Zealand is living in a home with a major coldness, dampness and mould problem, and it's leading to about 40,000 hospitalisations every year from respiratory illness.
Okay, the government, as Jono points out, the government's now doing something about it. You know, I mean, Helen Clark government had 9 years to fix that, and then, you know, et cetera, but they're doing something. Are you happy with what the government's doing?
It's a start. They actually did some good work with the Green Party Warm Up New Zealand scheme that helped to insulate homes, but that has stopped. They have been retrofitting state houses with insulation, and they've done about 50,000 homes, so that's great. But we now need some decent standards that can be enforced through a warrant of fitness for both the state and the private rental market. Unfortunately, what the government's gone for is a sort of a do minimum kind of approach. So they're requiring, you know, insulation up to a 1978 standard, which isn't sufficient. Smoke alarms, that's good, but there's no requirement for heating and for ventilation, for a stove, for food storage and other things that a warrant of fitness would require.
All right, thank you very much, Deborah Morris. Brett Travers, appreciate your time.
Very good. Thank you very much for coming, Deborah. Kevin Haig, what about you? Can I ask you something? Do you think that your warrant of fitness scheme would that fix the problem? Mould up the curtains, mould up the walls. Yeah. I mean, come on.
But we've been campaigning for a warrant of fitness actually for more than 6 years now. It's such a glaring omission. I think Deborah's absolutely on the ball. We take it from the point of view that what could there possibly be more important for a government to do than to ensure that every New Zealander has warm, safe, healthy housing? And actually, a succession of governments have failed to achieve that.
Okay, so what would you say directly to John O'Naylor and his government in terms of this issue? Because we keep on talking about it, don't we?
Well, one of the things that really bothers me is the way that this government is using state housing for political purposes. I believe that one of the things this government has done is, in fact, leave state houses to degenerate so that they can justify their program of selling state houses.
That's in your mind, though, isn't it? That's just you're putting two and two together, though, aren't you, on that? Really?
And getting five, to be fair.
It is in my mind, but I can't see any other explanation for the facts that we observe.
I've got to have a comment from that, and then we'll go.
So effectively, Mr. Haig is saying that all of the people in the National Party don't care about anybody, and they would rather see kids get sick than not get sick. And that is just ridiculous, most ridiculous thing I've heard in a long, long time. So what we are interested in doing is delivering better outcomes for those people, and simply saying that the whole model that we used to have, I mean, look, you know, there was a good idea, you know, Dick Seddon had a great idea back in the 30s, but it wasn't the last good idea that anyone ever had. So what we're doing is we're getting into it, we're looking at some different options, different alternatives, because we want to move ahead and achieve even better things for people.
All right, look, jump online at Backbenchers TV. What are your thoughts on this issue of state houses? We are back with the very thorny, the very moral issue of drug testing at work.